Hello, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to your Libra New Moon Astro-Numerology Forecast for October 9th at 4:47 a.m. London Universal Time. And in the Americas, October 8th, 11:47 p.m. New York Eastern and 8:47 p.m. LA Pacific Time. Now, Libra is a very interesting sign because it governs the balances. So it governs harmony and equilibrium. So there will be decisions you will need to make in order to bring your life into balance. You will go into one direction or another, but the whole point is if there's no harmony at the end, you need to course correct and decide again. So Libra is always about making sure the left and right, the feminine and masculine, are equal. Now, in order to achieve this, sometimes the Libra emphasis can mean you want to please others, which obviously is not the way to go. What you want to do is make sure you are fulfilled. You want to please yourself, which, the only key to finding inner balance, which is the only balance you need to pay attention to, is to find that special key to your own fulfillment. So be aware that during this time, if you're trying to please the outside world or another person in some way, to just release that. Now, fortunately, we have a lot of help this time around because Venus is retrograde. Now, why is that helpful? Well, Venus retrograde, which happened on October 5th and goes through November 16th, it allows you to go inward, and that's exactly where we must go in any case for all our decisions, to listen. And so this retrograde is happening in Scorpio. It's starting in Scorpio, and then eventually Venus slips back into its own sign of Libra and then back. So because it starts in Scorpio, we need to look at that sign. Scorpio is about human nature, human behavior. It's the sign of psychology, of looking at your inner motives. And it also governs financial flow, especially finances you share with someone, or finances owed to you, or finances you owe. So it's a wonderful time when Venus is retrograde to focus on manifesting financial flow, looking at all possible options, because again, you're looking more inward now at these topics, which is love and abundance. Now, we need to look at some transits because they're quite a lot. This is a very highly activated lunation. The first transit is Pluto squares the sun and moon. So the sun and moon are together, and then Pluto is 90 degrees, forming an angle that is very activating, very powerful. Pluto is about power. And Pluto rules Scorpio, which is the sign Venus just began its retrograde in. Venus rules Libra, so you can see the whole storyline here. So that square with Pluto will create some tension. Now, the thing is, we don't want to get down on tension and negativity, or what we would call moments in our life where we feel what we would call the negative emotions, because they're not actually negative. They're activating. They're showing you feedback to something that you need to process in order to take the next step and be cleared, right, to make room. So in this case, Pluto is the clearing planet. It purges. So if you have any obsessive emotions about anything, you are going to undergo a change, a deep transformation, because you're going to look at, where am I compulsive? Or where do I feel not in control of my thoughts and actions? You want to be in full control of what is coming, what you're sharing. But you don't want to control others. So there may be things that you didn't realize are going on that you need to process to get healing during this time. There may be some internal frustration or pain that you need to surrender and let go of. So this is a great time to look at any inner emotional power struggles, any frustrations you have. It's an opportunity to step up with courage and compassion, as opposed to disempowering or wanting to control others. The self-control is you only paying attention to what's happening within you and taking ownership of that. The controlling of others, this is all Pluto stuff, is a false representation of power. It disempowers because you're actually exuding your will onto others. right? So this is where we need to then really be very clear during this new moon, if we're doing that, there may be things within us that we need to surrender and let go of in order to not feel like we have to go and disempower somebody else. And so the peace will come through Libra, the equilibrium and peace, by acknowledging those things, not sweeping them under the rug or reacting towards others because we haven't processed whatever it is we need to look at. Right? Now, there are a lot of incredible, beautiful aspects in addition to that square to Pluto. The first is the Sun and Moon are both quincunx to Neptune. Quincunx is 150 degrees. The Sun and Moon are at 15 degrees. So we got 150 and 15. That reduces to 6. This is very loving, and the quincunx makes it very spiritual. So when Neptune, Sun, and Moon come together, you feel much more sensitive. You feel that your intuition is activated in a beautiful way, and it opens up spiritual dimensions that allow you to tap into higher realms, higher consciousness, to your guides, to your team, to your angels that you always have access to. So that's really beautiful. Venus has two aspects. Venus squares Mars, and since Venus is the divine feminine and rules this Libra new moon, this is very important. Mars is our drive, our sacred masculine. Mars is action and forging ahead. So when they form that square relationship, there can be sexual tension. So you might be attracted to someone who knows, might not be for your highest good or is maybe causing some anxiety. So all you want to do is you want to focus on what it is within you or within the relationship. Bring that into harmony through a decision that you make. And, while Venus is retrograde, remember, this is very important to go within and find that inner peace. So Venus square Mars, a great way to use this very active, sensual energy is to create. There is tension that needs to be released. So if you exercise or create, or if you're in touch with your sensuality in some way, right, this will channel that energy in a really highly productive way, which is what we always want. Now, Venus is also trine to Neptune during this new moon, which I absolutely love. It's very romantic, very sensitive, very compassionate. Again, so creative. It accelerates healing in relationships especially, and it puts an emphasis on love and empathy. So there's a softness and a caring and a real tenderness here. Again, Venus rules Libra, so any aspect of Venus has an even greater impact during a Libra new moon. Now, the final aspect is Mercury is opposite to Uranus. There's so much going on, like I said, during this new moon. So Mercury and Uranus opposite each other. Your mind is speeding up. You're getting to things quicker in your mind than usual. So you're making quick decisions. Now, this can also scatter the energy a little bit as your mind may start fracturing or feeling, like I said, scattered. So you need to just accept when something unexpected happens, that it may surprise you and you just need to move on and process and then close your eyes and listen to your intuition. Uranus governs your intuition. It is about those breakthroughs, those genius breakthroughs that you get when you listen. So, and Mercury is communication. So if you're talking to someone and you're getting a sense, I wanted to say this, but intuitively I'm getting this, then you need to be extra attentive and pay attention to that and be crystal clear in how you communicate and convey your words to others. So when Mercury and Uranus come together in an opposition, it's also important to keep an open mind because there can be changes in your plans at this time and you want to be open to being very flexible. So in a nutshell, this Libra new moon brings new beginnings in your financial flow, abundance, and in your love, romance, relationship sector. Because Venus, the ruler of Libra, is retrograde, you're going within far more than usual to get your answers, which is always the way we want it to go, and this retrograde is a reminder to do so. So have an amazing new moon, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for the Taurus full moon. Lots of love.